great, Terrence, you're here. And thank you both for coming in again. It's good that you're here.
Thank you.
The last time we got together, our last session, we talked a little bit about some of the shared responsibilities that you have at home, and I think you verbalized that Terrence wasn't doing some things, and he wasn't necessarily pulling his weight around the house.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that been going?
I don't think it's gotten that much better. Sometimes when I come home in the evenings and I, had a long day or whatever, I walk into the house and the first thing I see is a big pile of clothes right at the door. Terrence has a habit, the minute he walks in, everything comes off. Suit tie, suit jacket, suit shirt, suit pants, and it just lays on the floor.
Okay.
And, he could just be laying on the couch or whatever, and it will stay there. And it's not just one suit. It's Monday suit, it's Tuesday suit, it's Wednesday suit. So eventually, you have this big pile of clothes, and I just can't understand why it's right by the door, considering he goes up and down the steps a few times during the day. I'm not asking him to take a special trip upstairs to take his clothes. If you happen to go upstairs for whatever reason, grab an armful of crap with you and just move it out the way.
Okay.
My mother was the type when we were younger, the downstairs had to be clean. She didn't care what your rooms looked like. But if you walked in and the downstairs looked a mess, you got, in trouble. So that's kind of how I have the vision for my own home to be. And so I just can't stand clutter as soon as I walk in.
So you're really modeling what you learned as a child.
Yeah. And it used to bother me growing up really bad. I never quite understood the purpose of it. But now that I see it in my own day-to-day life, I can understand why it bothered my mom so much.
So is that accurate?
That's pretty much accurate.
Why?
I mean, when I come home from a long days of work, the last thing I want to do is clean up. So I am in a rush to pull off my tie. I'm in a rush to get out of my clothes. I'm in a rush to sit down, have a beer, and relax and watch TV. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to think about anything else. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, I'll pick those clothes up later.
Okay.
They're not going anywhere. Why do I need to hang them up right away?
So it's not as important to you.
Right, it's not as important to me. I know I'm going to get around to it.
Okay.
But with her, she wants me to pull out my clothes, hang them up neatly and all that other stuff, and then I can relax. So that's just not how I operate.
Okay.
So.
Can I just add a disclaimer?
Okay, what's the disclaimer?
I don't necessarily care if he hangs them up in the closet. As far as I'm concerned, you can throw them on the floor of the closet, just out of my sight. Out of sight, out of mind, kind of one of those situations. And I know it's a lot of work stuff, so it needs to go to the cleaners, which is another reason why he'll just have piles. But then, those early morning rushes, because he don't know what's clean and what's dirty, because it's all in one pile. So it's not even just annoying me, it has to annoy you. 6 o'clock in the morning, you're trying to find what slacks to put on, because you got a whole pile of slacks on the floor.
I mean, it doesn't faze me that much, but I do understand where you're coming from. I mean, I am in a rush in the morning, and I know it would save me some time, but, once again, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
Right.
When I get home and want to sit down and relax, I'm not thinking about the next morning. I'm thinking about that moment in time where I want to just get out of these clothes. I don't care where they are placed. I just want to sit down and have a beer and enjoy myself and watch TV.
Okay.
Life is simple.
Okay. But can you see how it's important?
To her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see why it's important to her. I mean, when you're raised in a family that, has a great appreciation for their home and they're taught to, clean, and same thing with me. I mean, I was always getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The first thing my mom used to say is straighten up in bed.
Okay.
So, but that had an adverse effect on me versus with her had a positive effect on her.
Right.
And I feel like I'm in the liberty of my own home.
Okay.
Do what
And
you
so
want.
I can do whatever I want.
Okay.
So maybe that's another reason why I do it, because I can.
So for you, it's identifying with a sense of freedom.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I feel like I'm confined all day. I have to wear this tie all day, and especially during the summer months where it's especially hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you have to dress in your professional attire. The first thing you're doing is getting out of this tie. It's hot, it's sweltering, it's scorching outside. I just want to come home and sit down and relax.
Okay.
That's the reason why I probably do what I do, because it's just not as important. In my mind, I always think that I'm gonna pick it up, and I just leave it there and say, "Oh, okay, I'll get it. Oh, okay, I'll get it," and never get around to getting it unless I really have to go to the cleaners.
Okay.
Right? Unless I really have to go to the cleaners, and then that's when
that's when there's an emergency.
Right?
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's when it becomes important.
Okay.
To him.
So when it becomes important to you, when it affects your ability to get something done, go to work, or
That's a fair assessment.
okay.
Why can't it be just important? Period. Like I get it because again, last thing I want to do when you walk into the door for doing anything is cleaning up. But it's hard enough cleaning up what already exists, and then we add on to it stuff that you do.
Yeah.
So it's not even that I'm cleaning the house. I'm cleaning up after you when you're a grown man. You are more than capable of picking up your little funky drawers and taking them upstairs.
And here's the thing, though. I'm not asking you to clean up after me.
But who's gonna do it?
No one. I can clean up after myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, but you don't. Sorry.
Okay. So Denise, how does it make you feel when you voiced your concerns that you want him to pick up after himself and he doesn't? How does that make you feel?
Quite honestly, I think it's like kind of like no offense, the child aspect. You know, the more times your mom tell you to do something, the less you want to do it.
Okay.
Tell me what to do, and I kind of feel like it's that situation. So sometimes I just don't even feel like arguing about it because it defeats the purpose. I feel like it'll be counterproductive for me to ask him for the 15th time to pick up that same pair of socks.
Okay.
But it just, I mean, it feels kind of like a slap in the face, like you don't care what I've
Okay.
asked you to do. You know, I've asked you a couple times, you said you know, to his credit, I'll get around to it.
Okay.
Getting around to it is not necessarily doing it.
Okay. So can you turn that into an I statement and tell Terrence how that makes you feel?
I feel,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't care what I talk about when I ask you to do stuff and you don't do it. So in essence, I feel like you don't care about me because this is important to me.
Wow. Well, that is clearly false. Because I'm not thinking about, you know, to me, I didn't know how important that is to you. I mean, it's just some clothes on the floor. Like,
But it's a request.
what's the big deal? You know, like, look, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. And you should trust me enough to say, okay, if he's going to pick it up, he's going to pick it up. You shouldn't have to ask me 15 million times. But at the same, and I do understand where you're coming from. I will acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the contrary, you gotta have enough trust in me that what I say to you, I'm gonna do it.
Just on his own time. And I think that's that power struggle.
Okay.
He'll do it. It's just not gonna have anything to do with me.
Okay.
It's when he's ready.
So you said a power struggle. In what way?
Meaning, I asked him to do it, but if he did it, that means I win. But if he drags it out for a few days, it's because he's good and ready now. So now it's his decision. It's that whole, power struggle.
And I'm not even thinking about it on those terms. I'm just.
I should have faith in him that he's gonna pick it up. But you haven't picked it up though, so how can I have faith in something like that?
But,
you have to demonstrate something. I don't like faith is believing.
Okay, I understand that, but once again, if I haven't asked you to pick up after me, and I'm telling you I'm gonna do it, and you just acknowledge the fact that I will do it, what is the issue?
The issue is
When you
4 days worth of clothes on the floor. That's the issue.
So the issue is timing. That's what you're saying.
I mean, it's not so much timing. It's just making a conscious effort. Like, you're going upstairs anyway. Why don't you just go ahead and take your clothes off upstairs? Why you got to do it right here at the door? Because literally, you'll take the clothes off, and 2 seconds later, he'll be going upstairs.
Okay.
Do it upstairs. In the closet. Leave it on the floor.
So you don't see the issue as being the clothes in the floor. What do you see it as the real problem?
It's control. Like, I see it as she wants me to do it on her terms and on her timing. Oh, what are clothes? Clothes are not bothering you. They're just sitting there. That's why I don't understand why is it a big deal, especially if you've seen me do it and it may not be on your time, but I'm still doing it. What is the issue? So I see the real issue is just that control factor, doing something on her terms, you know. And, you know, this just dawned on me, but maybe we need to have a compromise or some type of balance, you know, in order to rectify the situation, because I didn't know how important it was to her.
I use the air quotes though, like you did that.
Right. But, I mean, because to me, I don't see it as important. I mean, it's
Really, this is not important. I'm baffled.
But it's important
important
to
to her.
Denise.
Right, exactly. And I understand that, and that's why I said maybe we need to come up with some type of balance or compromise, because it's very important to her, even though it's not important to me. You know, I'll
He gonna make that point home. I don't
Right.
care about the little funky clothes.
Right.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, what would you suggest that would a compromise or a balance be? You know, a first step in rectifying this issue or this problem.
Okay, before we go there, Denise made a statement about how it made her feel. And you clearly stated that it wasn't about that. But let's address her feelings.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand that's important to her, and like I said, I had a totally different perspective on it.
Okay.
I didn't know that made you feel like I'm negating your feelings in a sense.
Okay.
That's by far not what I was trying to do. I'm just caught up in my own little freedom and just want to do whatever I want to do.
Okay. Okay.
You know, but if that came off that way, I sincerely apologize, because that did not cross my mind at all. And so I apologize.
Thank you.
But you know, I just didn't know it was that important.
That important. Okay, so now that you know it's important to her, that is something that's important to her, to keep the house neat, to keep it orderly, to have a very comforting, inviting presentation in the home. Now that you know that is important to her, and you've apologized, she's accepted. Awesome. Do you think now that's something that you could do, something you can change and do?
I mean, I could try to make a conscious effort when I first arrive at the house, just go upstairs and change clothes and go from there. Try to do that day by day, make a conscious effort and try to be consistent about it.
Okay.
That would make me happy.
That make you happy? You'd be happy with that?
I mean, it starts somewhere. I mean, granted, I know it's not going to be an overnight change, although I would love for that to be an overnight change. But again, you know, if you're going to just roll all your clothes, just do it upstairs.
Okay.
I don't, you know, we ain't got to have all this stuff downstairs.
Okay.
In the visible eye, you know, public can see. Because I don't like to be that person. Company come over, you scramble and clean up. It should just be neat already.
Okay. So I think this is what I want you guys to do, and I think this might help.
Excuse me.
Terrence, what I would like for you to do is your normal behavior is come in the door, drop your clothes on the floor and leave them, correct? And you do that every day?
Yes.
Pretty much? Pretty much every day?
Just about.
Okay, so what I,
Unless I'm in a hurry to do something else, and then
Oh, there's the key in the hurry.
so when you're in a hurry, what do you do?
I mean, I'll probably just go upstairs, get what I need to get,
And head back out?
Right.
Okay, okay,
There could be a clothes sitting there, but I won't acknowledge them.
okay,
I
okay.
won't acknowledge it. That was an honest answer.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Your normal behavior is to come in the door and drop your clothes on the floor. Okay?
Mhm.
So you do this Monday through Friday, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what I would like for you to do going forward is Monday through Wednesday, I want you to come in the house and, go upstairs, put your clothes away, hang them up in the closet. But then on Thursdays, you have a free pass. You can drop them in the floor at the door.
Okay.
Only on Thursdays.
Only on Thursday.
Only on Thursdays.
So what about Friday, Saturday, and Sundays?
But she said, we only talk about
We're
Monday
doing
through
Monday
Friday.
through Friday, right? That's
Oh,
your
I
work
thought you
day.
said Monday through Wednesday, so that's what
Well,
I
we're
was
talking
thinking.
Monday through
Right,
Friday.
so
is
then
the week.
Friday, you would go back to putting your clothes away when you come in the door.
Oh, okay.
So you get that
Okay.
one.
So you get one day to drop your clothes in the floor.
Okay.
And I want you guys to do that for, let's see, 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I only get 2 days.
That actually doesn't sound too bad. I was upset that you gave him a day, but 2 days out of 14.
2
Okay.
days out
Kinda
of 14.
Woo-hoo.
So I see you're trying to create a habit.
Well, right now, I just want to see how you respond by doing it just one day a week.
Okay.
Okay? Don't think about it. Just know Monday through Wednesday and Friday, you cannot drop your clothes on the floor.
Okay.
But on Thursday, that's your day to drop the clothes on the floor, at the door.
And I'm not supposed to say
And
anything.
you're not saying,
Yeah, I'm not supposed to worry.
okay?
I can. I'm not supposed to say anything.
Don't say anything.
Gotta
Okay,
give
I
me
think it's gonna be
Thursdays.
harder for me than it's gonna be for him putting the clothes up.
But you gotta give me Thursdays.
But he is one day a week, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
I can do. I'll try.
Okay,
I'll try.
okay.
Can't make any promises.
Well, great. You do that, and then next week, when you come in, we'll talk about
How
how,
one day how it killed me.
right, we'll talk about how you feel and how you responded.
And the deal is he has to do Monday through Wednesday and Friday. So if he slip up and do Tuesday, I can say something. I just want to make sure that he got the point. Thursday is the only
Thursday,
day.
he knows,
Thursday.
Thursday's the only day that you would drop the clothes on the floor.
I understand.
Okay?
I understand.
Okay, I got you.
Okay,
I understand.
well, great.
All right.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate it.
All right.